ditto. And today I'm going to be talking about my daily drivers, so the cars I just tend to drive a lot of the time. I wouldn't say like every day, because I have like 300 cars. I don't exactly drive all of them all of the time, but just a select few are the ones I tend to gravitate towards the most. The first of which, weirdly enough, is this, the Mark 1 Mazda MX-5, Miata, Unos, etc., whatever you call it. I don't know why. It's a little goofy thing. It's very cute. Oh, I just jumped it. And I just drive it all the time. I don't know why I gravitate towards it this much. It just seems really appealing to me. It's a nice little sports car, 169 miles an hour top speed. Because mine's tuned, obviously. Handles really nicely. And it's just all round very good budget sports car. Let's move on to the next. Of course I had to crash it. Bottom end of class 1 and I've still spun it. Great. Welcome to my driving talent. Yep, a car I praise all the time. I do genuinely drive quite often. The Ford Crown Victoria. It's very much a good car. There's one thing I wish I could do to it though. I want to be able to remove the lights so that I can finally complete my taxi build. See, that's a taxi. But obviously I have to just keep it in police. I might keep it like in the taxi build for quite a while. But anyway, big V8, rear wheel drive, handles very nicely, drifts well as well, and also accelerates incredibly well. I mean, I'm pretty sure this thing can beat the Class 2 Dodge Police Charger. It can also beat the limited edition Lexus LC 500. But then again, I could do that while I'm walking. Yes, I did just take the opportunity to roast the heck out of a Lexus. I will keep doing that. Aside from that, yeah, it's a car I just tend to gravitate to quite a lot. Cheap thrill. Good one. Let's go on to the next car. Yep, I'm a bit of a cheap sports car fan, if you couldn't tell. So naturally, I like the Mazda MX-5, which is why I have 2 of them as daily drivers. This one's the much more powerful one, but it's a bit less charming. I do use it quite frequently though. I enjoy it very much. Because it's more powerful, it just means it appeals a bit more, even if it doesn't have the charm of the original Mark 1. I don't know why I like cheap sports cars so much, but I think this is the last of them. So, let's move on. I've spun it. Oh, I'm running on slicks, that's why. Let's move on. And, the next car, the Lancia Delta Integrale, I actually mentioned it, yesterday. Because I mentioned the Subaru Impreza 22B, which I never seem to drive. And it's because of this. It handles worse, but has the same amount of power as the Subaru. So why do I like it more? I don't know. I've just always been a Lancia person. The Delta Integrale is actually my favourite car. And I'm also a massive fan of things like the 037. Proper glory days of Lancia. It's a very nice little stubby hot hatch. Handles great. I'm going to put it on normal road tyres now. Hold on. Jump the river. That was brilliant. So yeah, I just find myself going to the Lancia much more. I love it. It's a very nice little car. Foxy, please add the Lancia 037. Please do it. Moving on to the next car. Yes, I'm on the mountain pass in a white Porsche 911 RWB. I have just flipped it. Not like what I did in the intro. Oh my god, why are you lagging? Doesn't this look familiar? White Porsche 911 RWB on a mountain pass. You bastard! Yeah, and the next car I'm going to talk about is the Porsche 911 RWB. It is in my intro in this spec. I use it all the time. I think it's a brilliant car. It drifts well, it handles well, it's charismatic, it looks great. And it's a genuinely fun car to drive. And I have just crashed it because it's rear wheel drive and it does have the tendency every so often to just do something unexpected. But yes, I love this car very much. I use it all the time. On the track, in the city, in the mountains. Look at this. So good to drift. That was my fault, not the cars. Yep. I'm amazingly skilled, and don't you forget it. I'm just not always amazingly skilled. Moving on to the next car. Oh, I needed to be going faster to do a 360. One of my favourite cars in the world. Right up there with the Lancia, Delta Integrale. The Ferrari F40. For quite a while, the only turbocharged Ferrari. Last car to be overseen by Enzo Ferrari. And just a great car in general. I use mine all the time. It's got pop-up headlights, even if they look kind of goofy. And I'm just thinking, some of you will probably have noticed a theme with most of my dailies. They old. I'm an old car person. And if you've got a problem with that, I don't care. Anyway, this is a great car. It's the classic 80s wedge shape. It's got a stupid wing. It's also, look at the engine bay. It's got a detailed engine. And an interior that looks nice. Just the handle's great as well. Feels fun to drive. It's a perfect package. Just a shame it gets overshadowed by the Tesla Roadster all the time. They're electric-powered wheelie bins, okay? There, I said it. I've annoyed Elon Musk. What's he gonna do? Cancel me? I should not have said that. Just a cute modded old Mustang. What's the Oh. Yeah, this is the Ford Mustang Unicorn. Ken Block's Mustang. What a great car. This was the first drift car I did to CDT. And a great one, probably the best one. Very fun. I use it much more than the RTR, although I do use the RTR for drag races. But this is the one I use for drifting, and I drift this thing a lot. Ooh, RX-7 FD. Vale side. I mean, it's such a great car. It's made by Ken Block. And even if you hate drifting, you will know Ken Block. Because what's the spec on that? Ready police okay, they're all crap. But it's such a great car, and it's quite sad it won't come back, but that does mean that these things are getting quite rare now. Which means I've bagged myself a very special car. And a special one to drive as well. Let's move on. Didn't get the ending stun right, damn it. One of the oldest cars I have. Well, CDT-wise. A barn find from the old map. The Porsche 917 Kurtzheck, usually abbreviated to K. Another classic car. Who's surprised there? It's an interesting one. Doesn't actually handle that well. Or, but it feels great to drive. It also feels like you're right on the edge, and it drifts pretty good well as well. Like, if I turn in, okay, maybe that was a bad example because I am running it on slick tyres. But I turn in, and I can do that. It's easy. It's fun. I just thunked it into a tree. The mountains are not a good place to drift. And yeah, this is also amazing on the landed it. Ignore that. This is also a great track car, obviously. That's where it was intended for. But to be honest, I just prefer it because it's a great way of honing driving skills. You feel like you're right on the edge. It's exciting and enlivening. And it's just a great car all round. Moving on. I can barely see anything thanks to the window tint. Yes, the infamous Gordon Murray Automotive T50. What a great car. It's a nod to the McLaren F1, but it's got a fan. And I'm pretty sure the fan's there for ground effect. So basically it sucks air from the bottom of the car, making a vacuum which sticks it to the ground, helping it to handle better. Also giving it instant cool status. So as well as having that amazing fan, it's also great to drive, great to drift, brilliant on the track, sounds amazing. And also, you're going to love this, it is a limited. It's actually a limited that's only returned once. So, right now, these things are just as rare with and without wraps, I think. But obviously the ones with wraps are much cooler because they've bought the car the first time round. Quite expensive, but worth it. Chiron, you suck. It's got monstrous acceleration as well. I mean, seriously, these things are a beast on the circuit. Monstrous acceleration, great handling. What is there that would put you off this car? It's also got 3 seats, so you can take 2 of your friends. By which I mean both of your friends. Get wrecked. Right, let's move on to the next car, because I've just crashed this one. Who's surprised? And last but not least, the Bugatti Chiron SS 300 Plus, which was once the fastest car in the world. I don't know if it is now, though. I think the Jesco Absolute's overtaken it. I also have the Jesco Absolute. I don't use it much unless I'm grinding. And there's nothing to grind for right now, so I'm not going to use it. I crashed it already. It's effectively a Chiron with a longer tail and a crap ton more power. 100 horsepower more. I'm not even joking. But the thing that appeals to me is the handling. A perfect 10. Handles amazingly. It's also faster than the Bolide. And cheaper than the Bolide. But obviously much less cool than the Bolide. Like, while I was chatting to some noob that was like, oh cool, you have a nice car in the Bolide. He was like, oh cool, you have a Chiron. And then when I pulled out my Chiron, he said, oh, how do you have 2 Chirons? Yeah, okay, maybe he was a bad example to use, but it is kind of similar to the Chiron. But the stripes are cool, and also, I don't care. So thank you for watching. What cars do you use the most? Tell me in the comments. Oh, I nearly got on the bridge. And he just spun his Supra. Hate on the Supra. I bid you farewell.